Hello, everyone. I'm Nayana Guerrero. I'm so happy to be here today with Carolina Medina. And we're going to talk about women in AI and Latina women in AI because Carolina, she's from Colombia, I'm from Mexico. But as you can see, I'm like in Mexico City, like it's so hot here. And but Carolina, she is in Europe. But I'm going to let you introduce yourself, Carolina. Thank you very much for being here in this podcast where we're going to share and talk about women in AI, specifically Latinas. Entonces, bienvenida Carolina y gracias.
Gracias a ti por la invitación. Well, yeah, as you heard, I'm Carolina Medina. I am from Colombia, from the coast, so I completely understand that you are the warmth that you're feeling right now. And I am currently working in the UN in Bonn, Germany. And I am a social communicator and journalist that I study a master in Deutsche Welle Academy in Germany. That's why it took me to Germany. And that's something that I'm doing like professionally. And also on the other hand, I'm also part of the Center for AI and Digital Policy, which I am right now a team leader of the research group.
Fantastic. So we know like we have like such a great speaker, like invited speaker today, Carolina. So Carolina, we have like a lot of things to talk about today. But first and foremost, please, can you share with the audience what motivates you to leave Colombia and travel to Germany? I mean, I understand that you studied a master's degree, but I mean, there are so many people over there in Latin America that they maybe have like these ganitas de salir de su país. They want to go out of their countries, like, but sometimes let's be honest, as a woman in Latin America also, it's like don't travel by yourself, be careful, don't go out by yourself. Like it's like stay at home. And it's like well, when we see other women, other Latin American women, because our reality is very different, that they travel by themselves and they decided to study abroad, and it's like inspiring. So if you can share, like, what motivate you to leave Colombia to go to Germany?
Yeah, sure. It's a very interesting story because I was working as a media creator, content strategist for social media in the university where I actually studied social communication. And I was mainly created educational content for virtual courses. And there was once a guest that came from Stanford University, and he was seeing all the materials, all the content that we were doing, and he was like, wow, you do a lot. We just record our classes and that's it. So that made me realize that what was not value in my environment in that moment was actually more value outside. So that's why I started looking outside, and I was looking many scholarships all around Europe because I wanted to go to Europe. I really liked the idea. So I was looking for many universities in Europe, getting all the papers because, of course, the masters are in English, most of them. And for example, my English in that moment was not too good, but I knew that I have to get a C1. So I actually prepare myself for the C1 every day, super disciplined. And also they were asking for letters of recommendation of teacher, having good grades, and all of these many papers, and try it on in many universities in Europe until I got one. And that was in Germany with the Deutsche Welle Academy and Hochschule Bonn-Rhein-Sieg in with the DAAD, which is an institution of scholarships of Germany. So yeah, that's what took me to Germany to study in international media studies master, which was an international environment that I really enjoy and really learn about. I really feel so happy about having the opportunity, about me being able to fulfill the requirements of this scholarship so I could join, because it was also not easy. I really had to apply to more than 10 scholarships to be able to have one. So I was so happy about it. And it was not because I was a bad student, but because it is really challenging. But at the same time, it's really, really, really important for you to apply in many, many, many convocatorias, so you can actually get one and get the opportunity that you want and you need.
Yeah, because you mentioned that you persevere. You mentioned that also you had like good grades, because this is like so important, because nowadays I think that we think that everything is so easy, and like the traditional way of like working in society, whatever, like it's not working anymore. And I think that we have to be aware of, no, wait a minute. Yeah, everything is changing, and AI and everything and all the cutting edge technologies. Yes, 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 yes. But you have to have good grades. But if you want to
Yeah.
be somewhere else, if you want to achieve the next level of whatever, you better have like good grades, a good education. You better like learn different another language, and like be determined on
Yes.
what you want. It's like what do you think about that?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It's something that requires estar día a día, tiempo completo, aplicando a lo que tú quieres y necesitas. Y como lo que te decía, a veces yo no sentía que tenía muy buen inglés, pero yo dije, no, voy a ponerme la meta de hacer el examen de inglés en, no sé, noviembre creo que era la meta. Entonces tenía 2 o 3 meses para estudiar para poder tener un C1 y yo estaba segura que no tenía un C1 porque mi inglés era muy... y literalmente era un trabajo tiempo completo, sentarme, aplicar, escribir las cartas de motivación y al mismo tiempo estudiar para el examen. It was very, very, very important to be very disciplined, very organized. And I think part of it was also that I was, yeah, since I was a good student at the university, many teachers helped me and give me a lot of letters of recommendation, which is also something very important that you can have. So if you are in the university, it is important that you create a really good network that they can actually take you further from what you can actually do in when you don't have when you are alone, because networks and the people you met on the way, they are very important for you to be able to move up and move where you want to go.
Absolutely agree. And Carolina, what led you to the world of artificial intelligence? I mean, this is why we met. I mean, we are together in this Women in AI network. And so, I mean, Carolina, she is also, as soon as you send like some messages about, oh, this, let's open this book club. And then I said, she's like me, she's there. I want to meet her.
Let's do
She's
something.
like, let's do something. Yeah, yeah, because I mean, it's even if it's on like by chat or whatever, it's like you can feel like the ones that are like on the same like vibe, you know. So,
Yes.
so tell us, like, what led you to the world of AI? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, actually, to continue the story precisely, in my master, we were having many clases that were extracurriculares que tú podrías escoger, como si quieres, if you want to learn about social media strategies, or if you want to know about new technologies. So of course, I choose the new technologies because I love science fiction, and I'm always very tech savvy. So I applied for that one, and it was really interesting because it was journalism in new technologies, and all the teacher was talking about was about AI. And it was in 2022, end of 2022, when it was maybe not such a big boom. But for me, coming from Colombia, I've never heard of that. And it looks like it was something that was already going on in United States and also in Europe. So of course, for me, that was so new. And I was like, I need to jump in. So after this class, I was in my head so curious. I really want to try this. So I started trying all of these different tools, and one of them was AI image generators. And of course, the first thing I wanted to do was to create an avatar of myself. But it was not so pleasant experience because it took me so long to have a good representation of me. Actually, when I was trying to just put Latina woman, it was a nude. It was someone's highly sexualized. So of course for me was like, come on, here is going on. There is something going on, but here I don't like it. And also I have some previous knowledge of gender studies. So for me was like, let's see what is going on. So that took me to be part of a voluntary paper research with many, well, not many, three other girls, one from Bangladesh, one from Peru, and one from Egypt. So we actually have a diverse group, and we wanted to measure the percentage of sexualization that the image generator had. So we choose Dali, Stable Diffusion, Midjourney, and Night Cafe. In that moment, Night Cafe was kind of like one of the few that were free. So we choose this one to free to pay to see the amount of sexualization, and indeed it was highly sexualized. And but the most interesting outcome of this research was actually that the different characteristics, the intersectionalities of women, for example, Black woman, Latina woman, Asian woman, were even lesbian women were having more sexualization than, for example, saying European woman. So that really triggered something more in me. And I really wanted to say, okay, where does these biases come from? So that was my thesis. So I tried to find what are the sources of biases in AI image generators. And for that, I interview a lot of people that were the stakeholders of this technology, from policymakers to developers to users to everyone that was involved in it, to researchers. All of the people that were involved, and not just about people in just I don't know, Europe or in Germany, but I really try for them to be diverse as well, diverse as the thing that I thought AI needed in the data sets. So of course I choose someone from Latin America, someone from Africa, someone from Asia, someone from Europe, someone from United States, someone from United Kingdom, someone from Australia. So it really, really, really enriched these perspectives of where are the sources of these biases. I don't know if you want me to tell you the sources of these biases. It's actually
Please.
okay. It's four main sources, and the first one is us humans. We are definitely already biased as a society, which is a very first point of a start, because of course all of these biases we have been putting in our technologies, in our internet. When the internet started, we were just in many ways in different parts of the world putting all our biases there. And up to this day, as you can see with all the polarization that you can see in social media, you can see many of them still exist, even though there are so many things that we have achieved, for example, in terms of equality or equity, it is still a lot of biases there. Second thing are the data sets. Of course, these data sets are open source, are taken from open source because they use something that is called data scrapping. This data scrapping, what it does is that without any type of ethical or decision or anything, it's just trying to grab everything that is on the internet that is open source. And the thing is that many of the things that are open source are sexual content. And even there is even child sexual content, which is highly, 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 es horrible. That with a lot of these databases are from child porn. And actually, Stable Diffusion, which have the data set from Lion, which is a foundation in Germany, they have this law against them because they were having this type of data sets. But it's something that is because the algorithm or the coding, it says just scrap everything that you see that is open, that is available, and take it. And even sometimes that can be our social media, can be Facebook, can be Instagram, can be Twitter, and so on. Well, now it's X.
Yeah. And this is so important to talk about and to share about, because I mean, nowadays, since like everything is going, whether like since the election in the United States and like how everything is changing, I mean, this is why we are advocating and talking about this, like because because of the importance of diversity in AI, in how AI, how technology in general is being um, created. Because deep inside, I mean, AI mirrors society. Uh,
Exactly.
so it's just like what we were saying out the records, that it's just it's just like it's a tool. I like it's just a tool. The tools are over there, but I mean, deep inside, what we have to change is society itself. You know, like to this is why we have to talk about. I mean, I'm worried about what is going on right now in the where a lot like the most important tech owners live and where they are creating the technology, because
Yes.
nowadays there is no more diversity and inclusion areas. So programs, and it's like, no, but wait, I mean, we need that because this is the world what kind of world are we creating? And
Indeed.
Carolina, so you are in this so you are surrounded in this AI world, and then you mentioned that you are a part of the Center for AI and Digital Policy, and you are conducting research about gender biases in image generators in AI. And I mean, talking about this is so important. But what led you to this Center for AI and Digital Policy? Because when I saw it, it's like, oh yeah, I know that, because I mean, I mean, the headquarters is in Washington D.C. So it was like, oh, that's what led you there?
Yeah, actually, another part of my thesis was actually to make a comparison between the UNESCO recommendations and the OECD AI principles against what the DALI and Stable Diffusion framework of ethical AI had. In this comparison, of course, I needed to understand a lot of law things because, yeah, my background is social communication. So I really didn't knew anything about this. I mean, just a few things, but it became part of my research. It was important for my research. So I really get these frameworks, study them, understand every single word that they are in there, because it's so many vocabulary I didn't have. And then I became to be very, very, very aware of the frameworks or the recommendations of the laws, policies, etc. And also in the people that I needed to investigate, I added everyone to LinkedIn, and my LinkedIn now is a bubble of AI because since I was trying to get stakeholders from all the world and from all these type of developers, policymakers, and so on, and somehow in the feed of LinkedIn, it appeared, join the fellowship of Center for AI and Digital Policy. I was like, wait, this is my topic. So I joined because I really wanted to know more about policies. It's a topic for me that is so new. And now I already have done a semester where I was part of a research group, and we were trying to analyze different countries. For example, I had to analyze Hong Kong, a country that, first of all, I don't speak the language, but still, that was our duty to do. And it was very interesting because we get to know not just about frameworks like UNESCO, AU, AI Act, or OECD, but also we get to know what are the different countries doing. And so if you see the publication of them that is going to come soon this year, and you see the Hong Kong chapter, I participated in the analysis of that one.
Yes. Congrats.
Yeah.
That I mean, that's great when you mention that. Also, it's important to mention that even though if you are from Colombia but you studied your master's degree in Germany, it's like you can like conduct research and analyze policies in Hong Kong, because this is what you bring to the table. You know, this is the another perspective from the policies, and also comparing one to the other. I mean, this is why diversity is rich. This is why it's the richness, se dice la riqueza rich, ¿no?
Yeah,
Bueno,
richness.
You know, like la riqueza of like the diversity, because you can see, I mean, someone can see like like a situation or a policy or in a way, but when you bring another perspective, it's like, yes, you see it like this, but you know, in this other country, they are doing this because of this and because of this and because of this. And this is what is like, it's like the juicy details are there, you know, like it's so important to have this broad and una perspectiva amplia. And of course, like with gender lenses also, this is like so important. I mean, to have like this other perspective of how, as women, how we see the world, how we see the technology, how we see a policy. Because some people can say, oh, but let's do that policy, and it's like, yes, but have you thought about this, you know? It's just to have this other view, that it's so rich. And it's fascinating also about what you have done. So, and how did you get to women in tech, like all these networkings? How, I mean, you already mentioned something, but if you want to share like the importance of like this like how networking has helped you to get where you are.
Yeah, actually, all of this networking started me trying to get the people to accept me the interview. And it was so important nowadays of what everything that is happening in my life. Because as I told you, in the feed of LinkedIn, suddenly I see call for papers, call for research, call for fellowship. We are looking for you basically, in the things that you are interested on. And building this network was nothing that happened from night to day. I was just every day trying to connect with people, the people that I really interest about. So for example, I took the UNESCO recommendations, and at the end they are the authors of it, and I just add everyone. So that's something that I really was enriching for me, and that's how it take me to Women in AI, actually, to because I have completely like created like this bubble of AI in my LinkedIn that is just taking me everywhere. And also, for example, my thesis, I presented it in a conference because of this network that I already have in LinkedIn, that I saw a call for papers, and I presented a conference. And also the other paper of the percentage of sexualization, we also presented in another conference. So it was very important for me, and it's really a huge part of what I'm doing today. And even like me trying to look for a PhD, because right now I want to just keep investigating. I just want to keep putting the diversity on this research. Now that I'm doing that, for real, like the people that I have met on the way has been a really important part of it, to be able to not just to apply, because everyone can apply, but also to have references from them, to have also empowerment from them, because they say, you know, it says that you should speak German, Chinese, it doesn't matter, just apply. So it's all this type of encouragement, of support that you will get when you get a great community. And actually in Women in AI, for example, I found that it's many people that have my same context, that they have my probably very similar experiences that I have as a woman in Colombia, which is very different. For example, a woman in Europe, that really can relate in many things. And we have some also like many of the goals in common of what we want to do with this technology. And yeah, I really like the experience to be able to have a group, a network, that I know that I can find incredible people, gente capa en la cabeza, y que pues le importa que tengamos cosas para las mujeres, porque, por ejemplo, cuando yo estoy aplicando a trabajos o aplicando a PhD, I see that the majority of professors are men. And they are precisely asking for people to be more diverse and so on, but they are all men, all white men. So it's important that we push each other up as much as we could. to be able to really see a change that is good for
Um,
us.
Absolutely. To be able to really see a change that is good for us, it's like it's so important, like the network, and also like we are all here together, bringing something to the table, and then this again, this diversity of thoughts, the diversity of mind, is like you bring to the table this the like with your experience, and then another one is bringing another experience, and then another one is bringing another experience, and then it's like it's we are in such a beautiful interconnected like world that is like sometimes there are people from other like you never know who is listening to you, who is watching you, and who will you inspire. You know, you're an inspiration for someone else, and I think nowadays more than ever we need that. We need diverse voices. We need to say like, okay, it doesn't matter if you don't have like this very scientific formación, you know, like it doesn't matter if we are not from mathematics or computer science. No, it's like you are from just another field, but this is what is great because you see technology and everything in this other view perspective, and also as a woman, like with this gender lenses, with this considering like something is going on here, like for instance for the image
Yeah.
generation.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, now you made me remind me of something that happened when I was presenting. You know that you have to present the proposal of your thesis to everyone. And I was presenting my thesis, and they were like, but what does it have to do with media? And I'm like, it has everything to do with media. Generative AI is creating media. So it has everything to do with media. And it's important also that, as you say, it doesn't matter where is your background. Like I have met people in this Center for AI and Digital Policy that they were first biologists. They were doing pandemic research, and suddenly they saw the importance of AI in their own field, so they started to know about it. So it's also very important that you don't feel limited to do something just because you feel like your background doesn't relate to that. Normally, like AI is almost like it's like the industrial revolution. Like it was a machine. So everyone at the end of the day end up using a machine, and nowadays like just our phones is a machine. So or even a stove is a machine. So it's something that you really can actually involve in your life. And it's very important that all in our fields can actually see AI with critical eyes and see how to get it to myself. Like, how can I use it for myself? How can I use it for my field? And at the same time, how can I avoid this to be detrimental for humankind? Then that's so many good questions to make, and you can actually find a lot of purpose on that. And exactly that's what happened to me. I just wanted to try on these tools, and then I saw that this was not working for me because I was a Latina woman that was highly sexualized. So I'm just trying all I can do, all my knowledge and all my passion to be able to have a better and more ethical environment in artificial intelligence.
Yeah, and use AI, and it's like, yeah, we are all using AI, but how are we using AI for good? You know?
Exactly.
Yes, there is like horrible things over there, like in the dark web and all like horribles, así, just like, yeah. There is a tool.
Yeah.
How do you want to use that tool? How do you want to be that tool to be created? How do you say like what? Yeah, so it's so important like to also to share that like there is a great tool over there. Use it, but use it for good. You know, use it for
Yeah.
improve life. If we want to have a better society, as AI is mirroring society, let's first build a great society, like where everybody is um, like integrated in the society, like they included in the society. What to do? This is that where there is diverse. So it's oh, we could talk like for hours about this.
Yes.
Imagínate si así hablamos en inglés, querida Carolina, si fuera en
No, en
español.
español se van 3 horas.
Hombre, siéntense. Bueno, Carolina, what book, podcast, website do you recommend to the audience?
Okay, I want actually to recommend one book and one podcast. And yes, it doesn't have anything to do with AI, but it can always be related to that. my first is the book La insoportable levedad del ser de Milan Kundera, or The Unbearable Lightness of Being of Milan Kundera. Why? Actually, this book made me apply for masters because I really get touched by the stories and feeling like this literally lightness of being, where I can be whatever I wanted. Like I could really build my future in the way I wanted. And this really told me like, okay, why not just go for a master in Germany? Why not? Why not? And also like it's like this showing how the life can be a journey that is full of many things, and it doesn't matter that you out of nowhere from the night to day just change your life. Just suddenly you are working in a fabric and tomorrow you want to be a coder. Okay, then just learn Python. But it's like this lightness of being able to choose whatever you want for your life. And the other one that I recommend is a podcast, is whatever podcast of Diana Uribe. Diana Uribe is a historiator of Colombia. No sé si se dice historiator, historiadora de Colombia. Es una mujer increíble. Lo voy a decir en español porque pues sus podcasts son en español, entonces es importante que pues las personas pues sepan hablar español porque son historias, pero ella es una señora que es como si estuvieses escuchando a tu abuela echar un cuento, y ella te explica tantas cosas de cómo funciona este mundo a través de viajes. O sea, por ejemplo, dice, bueno, hoy en el capítulo de hoy voy a hablar sobre mi viaje a Berlín, y en ese capítulo de Berlín ella te cuenta la historia no solamente de qué hay en Berlín, sino de todo lo que ocurrió detrás, de todo lo que ocurre ahora, de todo lo que ocurre atrás, en el pasado, en el presente, en el futuro. ¿Y por qué recomiendo este podcast? Porque me parece increíble la manera en la que uno puede tomar un tema, un lugar, y de ahí sacar toda una cantidad de no sé si intrinsicaciones, intrinsicadas, ya se me embolataron todos los idiomas, pero ahí puedes encontrar una complejidad de temas, y que hay tanto por explorar, tanto por contar, tanto por decir, tanto por analizar, que me hace sentir como viva y curiosa. Sí, esos dos.
Me encanta. Bueno, o sea, ahorita en cuanto terminemos corriendo me voy a escuchar un podcast y el
Es
libro
la
también,
mejor, me
bueno, por
encanta ese
supuesto.
podcast.
Sí, no, se escucha buenísimo. Increíble, Carolina. Well, Carolina Medina, thank you very much for being in this podcast. Thank you so much for sharing like about your research, for sharing about yourself, about like your journey. And I'm so pleased to be able to connect with you. Y bueno, pues ya sigamos like let's keep sharing like all the different experience that we have is that, and also for people over there, it's like, hey, mira, Carolina, este fue su trayecto. Yo tengo otro trayecto, and we're here like to build and to strengthen like this creation of AI, but with diverse voices, where women we are represented over there. So because yes, there are women that we are like very like deep in love with those with those topics that we are creating things. So thank you very much, Carolina, for this este tiempo compartido.
You're very welcome. And all of you, I really encourage you to be part of the discussion of how to build AI, mostly now because we are in the beginning part of it. I mean, of course, it started from many years ago, but it really getting all over the world, get involved into those discourses because we are important to be there. And the more diverse, the better, actually. So I highly encourage you. And also, I invite everyone who would like to know more about how I went from Colombia to Germany, how I'm doing all of this. Just write to me in my social media or in LinkedIn or wherever you want, and I will be so happy to give you information about all my journey and how to get here.
Fantastic, Carolina. I would let your social media on the description of this episode. Also, if you want to hear to other amazing stories of other women, you can go to nayanaguerrero.com/podcast. I have like more than 59 episodes where like I'm just like elevating the voice of women over there in different fields. To when you listen to the story of someone else, it's like okay, it opens like the eyes of like the different opportunities that are over there. And so see you in the next episode. And thank you very much, all of you, to be here with Carolina and me, Nayana Guerrero. See you on the next episode. Bye bye.
Gracias, chao.